Maya was already late when her phone vibrated again. She stopped walking and stared at the screen, her jaw tightening. Driver is still on the way. That was the third time she had seen that message. She let out a sharp breath, checked the time, then looked around the compound like the walls themselves had betrayed her. People were moving in and out, locking doors, rushing past, minding their own business. Nobody cared that her morning was falling apart. Of course, she muttered. Of course, today. She refreshed the app again. Nothing. Behind her, a car engine started. She didn't turn. She was too focused on her phone, already calculating how much trouble she'd be in if she arrived late again. Then a calm male voice spoke from close by. "You're waiting for a ride." She turned sharply. The man was standing beside a taxi. Not flashy, not old, just clean and ordinary. He looked normal, well-built, neatly dressed, calm eyes. The kind of man you wouldn't look at twice. "Yes," she said quickly, "but it's not coming." He nodded once, like he understood that kind of problem very well. "I'm a taxi driver," he said. "If you're late, I can take you. I won't charge much." She hesitated, then frowned. "You live here?" "Yes," he said. "I moved in recently. Just your neighbor." She looked him over again. Something about him felt safe. No rushing, no forcing, no strange energy. She glanced back at her phone. Still nothing. She exhaled. "Okay, please, you're a lifesaver." She opened the door and got in. That was how Ethan met Maya. And that was the morning his test began. Ethan hadn't always lived like this. A few months earlier, his life looked nothing like a shared compound or a taxi. He was rich, not social media rich, not loud rich, but deeply, quietly powerful. He owned companies that ran without his presence. His name opened doors. His father had built an empire, and Ethan was the only heir. Everything had been handed to him. Everything except trust. The woman he planned to marry had been with him long enough to know his passwords, his routines, his weaknesses. She smiled in public and planned in private. By the time Ethan realized what was happening, she was gone, and so was a large amount of his money. No argument, no goodbye, no explanation, just silence. That betrayal didn't just hurt, it embarrassed him, not publicly, but internally. He felt foolish and used, like a man who had confused love with loyalty. How many people like her have I met? He asked himself. How many stayed because of me? And how many stayed because of what I have? That question wouldn't leave him alone. He promised himself something then. He would find someone who loved him for who he was, not his pocket, not his name, not what he could offer. So he walked away from everything, quietly. He rented a small room in a shared compound. He bought a taxi. He dressed simply. No security, no assistants, no bodyguards, nobody trailing him. For the first time in years, he was invisible. That was exactly what he wanted. He wanted to disappear. He wanted to observe. He wanted to find something real. Inside the taxi, Maya was already apologizing. "I'm sorry," she said. "I usually plan my mornings better than this." Ethan glanced at her briefly. "It happens." She relaxed a little. She didn't ask him anything personal. That told him something too. When he dropped her off, she paid and smiled. "Thank you, really." The next morning, she was already waiting when he stepped out. "Good morning," she said. "Are you free again?" "Yes," he replied. From that day, it became routine. Morning drives, short conversations, quiet understanding. Ethan watched her closely. She was tired but responsible, careful with money, polite to strangers. She didn't complain unnecessarily. She didn't pretend her life was perfect. That honesty pulled him in. But Ethan didn't forget why he was there. He wasn't there to fall in love blindly again. He was there to test. Maya lived with her best friend, Lara. Lara was the kind of woman who talked big, always mentioning expensive places she never showed pictures of, always advising Maya to upgrade her life. One morning, Lara saw Maya getting into the taxi. She waited. That evening, when Maya returned, Lara crossed her arms. "Who is that man?" "My neighbor," Maya replied. "He drives me to work." Lara scoffed. "A taxi driver? So?" Maya asked. "So you're not serious?" Lara said. "You didn't go through all that stress just to settle for less." "Settle for less? How?" Maya snapped. "We're just neighbors. One day he saw me stranded and helped me get to work. Since then we've been cool. Nothing is attached to it." Lara shook her head. "Okay, Madam Taxi Driver. Just don't say I didn't warn you." Ethan heard every word. He said nothing. Later that night, while driving Maya home, he asked casually, "Your friend doesn't like me?" Maya sighed. She thinks I can do better. And what do you think? He asked. Maya paused. I think kindness matters, she said carefully. Consistency matters. I'm tired of empty promises. That answer stayed with him. Still, Ethan wasn't convinced. People behaved well when things were easy. The real truth came out under pressure, so he decided to push. Time did what it always did. It passed. Not in days, not in weeks, but in months. What started as quiet morning rides slowly became something else. Ethan was no longer just the man who drove Maya to work. He became the person she talked to when her day went wrong. The one she laughed with when something small made her happy. The one who noticed when she was tired even before she said a word. Some evenings, Ethan would park the taxi, and they would sit inside, talking until the air grew quiet. Other times, they would walk slowly around the compound, talking about life, about plans, about fears they didn't usually share. Ethan told her little things about himself. Nothing about money, nothing about his past life, just enough to feel human. Maya told him more. About how she had worked hard to get where she was. About how she was tired of people measuring love by status. About how she didn't want a flashy life, just peace. Somewhere along the line, love found them. And that was when the world around them began to react. Lara noticed first. One evening, Maya came home smiling, her phone still warm in her hand. Lara watched her carefully. So, she said slowly, it's serious now? Maya looked up. What is? You and the taxi driver? Maya didn't deny it. Yes, we're together. Lara laughed, not happy laughter, the kind that carried disbelief. Maya, she said, shaking her head, do you hear yourself? What? You, of all people, with a taxi driver. Maya's smile faded. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? Lara repeated. Everything. There are men coming your way every day. Men at your workplace. Men with future. And this is how low you choose to stoop. Maya stiffened. Low? Yes, Lara continued. What does he have to offer you? How much does he even make in a day? Can he move you from this place? He's living in one room, Maya. One room. Have you even seen it properly? Maya stood up. Enough. I'm not done, Lara said. I'm telling you now, so you won't say I didn't warn you. This kind of love ends in tears. Maya walked away without answering, but the words followed her. At work, it wasn't any better. Whenever Ethan dropped her off, Maya could feel the eyes. Colleagues watched from a distance. Some whispered, some laughed openly. One afternoon, she heard it clearly. So fine girl like that, someone said, dating a taxi driver. Another voice added, maybe she's desperate. Maya kept her head high. She didn't argue. She didn't explain. She didn't defend. When Ethan asked her one evening if something was wrong, she smiled and said, I'm fine. But Ethan noticed. He noticed how she grew quieter around others. How she squeezed his hand when insults came from behind her back. How she chose him even when the world made it uncomfortable. That was when his feelings deepened. And that was when the test truly began. One night, after a long walk, Ethan stopped suddenly. Maya, he said quietly. She turned. Yes? I need to tell you something. Her heart skipped. Is everything okay? He nodded, but his eyes were troubled. I don't have much, he said honestly. I'm just a taxi driver. I don't know when things will change. I don't know when life will get better. Maya stepped closer. I know, I can't offer you big things, he continued. No comfort, no security. She took his hands. Ethan, I don't want anything from you. I just want your love, your trust. That's all. He searched her face. I believe one day we'll leave this place, she added softly. I believe things will get better. We won't stay like this forever. Then she paused. I just need you to promise me something. What? He asked. When things get better, you won't leave me. You won't abandon me. Ethan didn't hesitate. I promise, he said. And he meant it. A few weeks later, fate knocked. Ethan showed up at Maya's room one evening, breathing hard. Maya, he said urgently, I need to talk to you. She looked worried. What is it? I hope there's no problem. Lara was there. She laughed sharply. How can there not be a problem? A poor man like him attracts problems. Ethan ignored her. My mother is very sick, he said to Maya. I just got a call. I need to leave urgently. Maya's face changed. Oh my God, is she okay? I don't know, he said honestly. I don't have money. I don't know if you can help me. Lara jumped up. There it is. I said it. This man has come to use your head. If you give him money, he'll disappear. You'll never see him again. Can you stop? Maya snapped. She pulled Ethan aside. How much do you need? She asked. 200,000, he said quietly. Just to go and come back. Maya didn't think long. I have it, she said. I was paid last week. I haven't touched it. Lara shouted. Maya! But Maya had already gone to get the money. She placed it in Ethan's hand. I hope your mother gets better, she said softly. Please come back soon. Ethan looked at her, truly looked at her. And in that moment, he knew. The test had reached its peak. Weeks passed, and Ethan did not return. At first, Maya told herself he was busy, that sickness could be serious, that things didn't always go as planned. She called him every night, but no reply, no missed calls, nothing. The silence grew louder each day. Lara watched everything. One evening, when Maya sat quietly on the bed staring at her phone, Lara finally spoke. I told you, she said slowly. Maya didn't answer. I told you this kind of love ends in tears, Lara continued. Look at you now. Look at where you are. Still no answer. He abandoned you, Lara went on. Not only that, he used you. He used your heart. He used your brain. He even collected your money. Maya swallowed hard. I warned you, Lara said, her voice rising. That day I talked, you thought I was jealous. You thought I didn't want your peace. Now see. He hasn't called. He hasn't picked. He hasn't even sent one message since he left. Maya's eyes burned, but she refused to cry. Who knows? Lara added cruelly. Maybe he lied. Maybe there was no sick mother. Men do that. They tell women they love them, just to collect something and disappear. She paused, then sighed. So now pick yourself up. Start again. Forget him. That's life. That night, Maya cried alone. By morning, something inside her hardened. She stopped calling, stopped texting, stopped hoping. She told herself, maybe fate had decided for her. Maybe Ethan was never meant to stay. Maybe love wasn't always enough. So she moved on. She focused on work. She avoided conversations about relationships. She smiled when necessary and stayed silent when it hurt. Life went on. Then came the afternoon that changed everything. It was hot, the kind of heat that drained energy and patience. Maya returned from work tired, her head full, her body aching. She stepped out of the taxi she had taken home and paused. Something was wrong. The compound felt different, too quiet. Then she saw them. Black luxury SUVs parked neatly inside the compound. Not one, not two, several. Their bodies gleamed under the sun, dark and expensive, the kind of cars you only saw from a distance. Maya frowned. Maybe the landlord wants to sell the place, she muttered. She adjusted her bag and walked further in. That was when she saw him. He was standing calmly near the cars. Tall, confident, still, but everything else was different. No taxi, no simple clothes. Ethan was dressed in a well-fitted suit, the fabric smooth and expensive. His shoes were polished, spotless. On his wrist sat a heavy watch, silver, bold, unmistakable. The kind of watch that didn't need explanation. He looked like money. No, he looked like power. Maya stopped walking. Her heart slammed violently against her chest. No, she whispered. It can't be. Behind her, Lara had also seen him. Who is that? Lara asked. Then she squinted. Her mouth fell open. Ethan, she whispered, disbelief thick in her voice. Maya's legs felt weak. The man turned slowly. Their eyes met. Maya, Ethan said softly. Her breath caught. It's me. For a second, she thought she might faint. She took a step back. No, she said. This isn't funny. He moved closer. I know you're angry. I know you're hurt. But please, let me explain. Lara laughed nervously. This must be a joke. Like that proverb that says the masquerade you chased with stones has returned wearing gold. Ethan glanced at her briefly, then returned his gaze to Maya. I never left to abandon you, he said. I left because everything I was running from finally caught up with me. Maya's voice shook. You disappeared. You took my money. You didn't call. You didn't text. I couldn't, he said quietly. Not until I settled everything. He took a deep breath. My name is Ethan Cole, he said. I am not a taxi driver. I never was. The air shifted. I am the only heir to my father's empire, he continued. The woman I was meant to marry betrayed me. She ran away with my money. That broke something in me. Lara's knees almost buckled. I hid, Ethan said. I became someone else because I wanted to be loved for who I was, not what I had. He looked directly at Maya. You loved me when I had nothing. You defended me when everyone mocked you. You gave me your last money without fear. Maya's eyes filled. That money, he added, was never for my mother. I needed to see if love would survive trust. Silence. I failed you by disappearing, he said. And I'm sorry, truly. He reached into his jacket and brought out an envelope. This is your money. Every single note, plus more. Maya shook her head slowly. I didn't give you that because I wanted something back, she said. I gave you that because I loved you. Ethan's voice cracked. That's why I came back. He took her hands. I don't want a woman who loves my name. I want the woman who loved the taxi driver. Maya stared at him for a long moment. Then she stepped forward and hugged him tightly. Lara stood there like someone who had just woken up inside the wrong dream. Her mouth opened once, then closed again. She looked from the expensive cars, to his watch, to his calm face, then finally to Maya. The same Maya she had mocked, the same Maya she had warned, shouted at and insulted. So, Lara said slowly, her voice shaky, It's really you? Ethan nodded. Yes. Lara swallowed hard. For the first time since Maya had known her, Lara didn't have anything sharp to say. She turned to Maya. I was wrong, she said quietly. Maya didn't answer. Lara took a step closer. I was very wrong. Her voice cracked. I thought I was protecting you. I thought I was being a good friend. But all I did was judge. I looked at his clothes, his job, his room, and I decided he wasn't enough. She paused, shame all over her face. I spoke badly about you. I spoke badly about him. I planted fear in your heart when you were only trying to love. Tears filled her eyes. I'm sorry, Maya. Maya looked at her for a long moment. Then she said calmly, You hurt me, but you didn't break me. Lara nodded, wiping her face. I know, and I'm sorry for every word. She turned to Ethan. I judged you without knowing you, she said. I reduced you to nothing because of what I saw on the outside. I insulted you in your face and behind your back. She bowed her head slightly. I'm sorry, Ethan. Ethan exhaled slowly. I don't hate you, he said, but I hope you've learned something. Lara nodded. I have. Silence followed. Then Maya spoke. Let's move forward, she said. All of us. And just like that, the weight lifted. Months later, Maya moved out of the compound. She married Ethan, not because he was rich, but because he was honest, broken, and human. And when she became the wife of the only heir, she never forgot who she was when nobody believed. Moral lesson. Never mock someone because of where they are today. Never measure love by status. And never underestimate the power of genuine love. Because sometimes the man you call nothing is only hiding everything.